We've got our file saved in G-code format. The temperature is up to the right temperature. We've got to get the platform and the bed positioned properly. So I'm gonna move the platform just manually with my hands. You can do this in ProInterface if you want as well, but usually it's easy to do here. If it doesn't move with your hands, there's a motors off button in the very top left-hand corner that you can switch, and that'll turn on and off control of the motors so that you can manually move them. But this is pretty centered. I'm gonna lower the build platform, or not the build platform, but the extruder head. I'm gonna get that pretty close, not quite. I'm actually gonna leave it off a little bit for the moment. And we are going to extrude just a small amount. So in ProInterface, I'm gonna click 2 millimeters, and I'm just gonna click extrude. I'm gonna see if anything comes out. It might not come out immediately, it might not come out at all. But if you click that once or twice, eventually you should see something come out. So I've clicked it twice now, I'm gonna click it one more time. Still nothing, I'm gonna click it a fourth time. Oh, there we go, we've got a bunch come out. And that'll continue leaking out a little bit. You can either pull it out carefully with your hand, or you can use a pair of pliers, snips, things like that to get it out. Remember, it's really hot, it'll burn you. So we've test extruded, we know that the plastic is primed. We've got it positioned relatively close to the center. I'm gonna go ahead and load our file. Look for cube.g code, click open. It'll give you an estimate of how much filament it's gonna use and how much time it's gonna take. Usually it estimates pretty high, but it's good to know nonetheless. Our extruder head is still extruding just a little bit of plastic. It'll kind of continue to do that slowly, and you can just kind of carefully take it out. Right now I'm going to manually lower the platform, or the extruder head, till it's pretty much touching the actual platform. And this is probably one of the most frustrating parts. So we've got this guy. The tip is pretty much touching. Our temperatures all look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and click print. And on the right hand side of our window, it's got a couple things going on. One, if your bed temperature wasn't up to temperature, it would bring that up, and right now it just says E:0, W:?. If our bed temperature wasn't at temperature yet, that would be a number that would be slowly increasing, so like 108, 109, 110. As soon as it hits 110, it goes to 0, and then wait for W:?. You'll notice on the left-hand side, the tip, or the extruder, is dropping down to 212, and that's because in Slicer, we set our start print temperature at 212 Celsius. Which is a little bit different than what you see here in printer interface. It's trying to maintain it at 215, but Slicer's told it to print at 212. As soon as it hits 212, you'll see the switch. W goes to 4, 3, 2, 1, it counts down, and then it'll start moving on the build platform. So pay attention here, because it starts moving, and eventually it's going to start extruding plastic. It doesn't happen instantly, and this is part of the reason why you use a skirt or a brim, because those first few kind of layers, it's not really putting anything down. And then when it does start putting stuff down, it's not adhering. So you've got to use the platform handle at the very top. You've got to adjust that to lower it down just carefully enough so that it's squishing a little bit of plastic out and onto the platform. If you get little gobbers that are kind of loose, for the most part, you can just leave those in there and it'll print fine. If it does screw up here, you can just reset the print, cancel. When it's pretty warm like this, usually you can just scrape it off with one of the squeegee boards pretty quickly and start the print over again. But little mistakes, little problems, those will usually work themselves out so long as your print's adhering properly.